LadyLucidity ASMR. Hello there, my lovelies. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a very special commission piece for a good friend of mine, and she has asked me to design her some cupcake inspired shoes. So these are the shoes I'm going to be decorating. They are a white patent court shoe, and as you can see, I have popped some tissue paper and masking tape inside so that the paint and glitter doesn't get too much in there and mess the insides up, so they're nice and protected. Okay, so for this make I have my very own pink glitter mix. Now, many of you guys know I am not a pink girl, but I have to admit this does look very pretty, and I do like glitter. So, some nice shimmeriness going on here. For this make, I also have some special little cupcake embellishments, and these are going to go on the front of the shoes just to give them that little extra personality. I've got my paint colours here, so they do look a bit brighter in the video, but they were actually pastel shades. So we have a baby blue, a vanilla lemony sort of yellow, and of course a Barbie pink, because she loves pink. So I've got my tools here as well, my masking tape to tape off the areas I don't want covered in paint, and of my good old matte Mod Podge to glue and seal everything in, because I would not want her to go walking in these in the rain and then find that everything has fallen off. So I also have some blue and yellow glitter, which is slightly off to the side, so apologies that I didn't show it in the video, but you'll see it later. Okay, so I've just made sure I've masking taped the edges good and proper here, so you get a nice crisp edge. Okay, so the first part, I'm going to be sectioning off bits of the shoe. So you'll notice I've sectioned off the heel already with masking tape, and I'm also going to be painting the base of the sole of the shoe as well. So for this, for the heel part, I did do a concept sketch, which was a sort of ice cream cone striped heel. So I'll be using my yellow and my blue. So I'm going to start with the heel, and I'm going to be alternating yellow and blue stripes. Now, painted material is a great surface for painting on. It's nice and smooth and shiny. I would not obviously recommend painting on suede. You could, but a leather or something that's a smooth plastic type material is better for this, especially if you're going to cover it in glitter like I did. Okay, so I'm just being very careful about going around the edges. Okay, so a little side note, because these shoes took around about a week to make, I did have to do several coats of my paint. So although the yellow did cover quite well, I wanted to make sure that it was a completely solid colour. So, okay. So just brush, 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 brush. Brush, 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 brush. All around the bottom. Okay, just neaten up those corners. So, a little tip, if you are covering paint and shoes and you still want to keep that patent high shine effect, what the paint will do is when it dries it will mattify. So I would highly recommend the Mod Podge High Gloss, or even a good gloss varnish on this. So I'm going to swap my lovely shoes over and repeat the same process on this side. So again, just being really generous with the paint and giving it a good even coverage. So for these I typically left them by an open window for around half an hour to dry each layer. So you can imagine it was quite a long process, but you'll see at the end of the video that it was well worth it, and hopefully my client is super happy with her shoes. I've only ever decorated 2 pairs of shoes actually before this. I have created a purple solid glitter pair for myself. They are a pair of lace-up dance shoes, and before that I did some decoupage on a pair of flat shoes. You guys may have seen similar tutorials with using comic book paper or cartoon strip paper to cover shoes. So this was a bit different for me. So our next step is to paint the inside. So before I let the heels dry, I basically popped the bright pink down the inside of the shoe. Okay. Because who wants black soled shoes when you can have pink, right? Although personally, if it was me, I would be painting these in a violet colour and a teal green, because they're my 2 favourite colours to combine. This was a super fun project for me to do, and even though it took an entire week to make them, it was really satisfying to see how each element came together to make one really nice pair of shoes. So okay, so at this stage I'm just evening out the paint on here, and you'll see that the pink isn't as good of a coverage as the yellow on the white. So that would be another tip that I would give to you guys if you are thinking of doing this sort of covering of shoes yourself. If you're painting on a black pair of shoes, you will need to either do a white coat of paint or a lighter colour first if you're doing pastel shades, or if, like me, you're doing sort of a brighter colour, I would definitely say do at least 3 coats, just to make sure that none of that darkness is showing through. this is something that I discussed with my client previously. I did say if you're looking to have light colours for your outfit, because she was basing this around a costume piece that she was having made, I did say white or cream would be best for this sort of make. So you'll notice here that I've put spackles of blue on the bottom, and I've also recoloured the heel because this was something later on that I decided to change. I decided that I would go with a blue base and then put the yellow over the top rather than the other way round. So just a personal preference, but this is the blue teal glitter mix that I went with in the end. Okay, so I've got a little container with some just neat Mod Podge in it. Okay, and I'm just going to very generously swipe that over the heel, making sure I only get the blue part. And then this is where the fun really begins. The messy part, I should say, because everybody knows that glitter goes everywhere. Like, seriously everywhere. I think I was still finding some on the table, behind the table, on the chair, for at least several days afterwards, even though I had cleaned. It's very tricky stuff to clean up, so if you're going to do this, and I was trying to be quite careful by using a box lid to try and contain it, that's a definite must. It's also easier to pour your glitter back into a container if you have something in the first place to pop it onto. So I would definitely recommend like one of the really useful boxes, just a general plastic box to shake your glitter into. Okay, so let's just lie that down, and now I get to shake, 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 shake. Look at those sparkles, beautiful. Okay, so you do not want to skip on glitter at this stage. So I've got quite a thick coating there, so I'm just going to gently press it around a little bit to cover more heel. And then all I'll do is, I won't brush it off, I will simply just tap it so that, much like eyeshadow, any loose glitter just drops off and we're left with this nice high shine heel. Okay, so shake, 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 shake. The other side. Okay, you'll notice at the top of the heel and where the pink is, I have gone over the line a little bit, and that's deliberate because when we cover the top later, it will all seamlessly blend together. So it doesn't matter too much if your edges are a little bit uneven to start with, because we will be touching those up later on. So, okay, and you can see my hand is already covered in glitter. Okay, so just tap, 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 tap it off. Beautiful. Okay, wipe away some of the excess and you've got a really beautiful glittery heel. Okay, so any bits that I've missed, I'm literally just hand sprinkling onto the top. Obviously you don't have to do this, you could just reapply a bit of glue and then shake your container on top, but I just wanted to use what I had already, and you know me, I don't mind getting my hands a little bit messy, so there we go. Okay, And then we just repeat the process on the other heel. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and then we can get on with the next part of our make. So let's just quickly brush our glue on, and then we'll shake our glitter on. Okay. So again, really generous with the amount. Okay. Make sure you glue right to the top. Okay, just like that. Okay. So the reason I'm doing half and then on the other half again, it's just for ease, really. Okay. There we go, so I'll just paint the other half. And then we can shake our glitter on. Okay. Trying to make sure that I coat each bit. Okay. Okay, just give it a quick clean up, just to neaten the area. Clean up that line. Okay. Add a bit more on the top. Okay. And again, grabbing our jar and repeat. So shake, 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 shake. Okay, smooth over and tap, 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 tap. Okay. Beautiful. Like a mermaid heel. Okay. There we go. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, so I've got quite a bit of glitter here gathered, so I'm actually just going to gather it together and throw that onto the other side of the heel. Look at all those sparkles. Okay, so sprinkle, sprinkle. It's like decorating a cupcake, which is funny. Me doing cupcake shoes and all. Okay, so you'll notice I have got some patchy bits on this side because I did hand shake it on. So I'm just going to reapply a bit of Mod Podge to areas that I feel are a bit more bold, and then we will just simply sprinkle on top. Okay, there we go, and again, tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tapping off the excess. It's like sprinkling fairy dust. Okay, there we have one glittery heel. Okay, so I'm just going to neaten up the edge a little bit and brush off any excess glitter. What I've done is I've put a layer of Mod Podge over the top of the heels to make sure they set. So they are just about touch dry at the moment. So you'll see they are still a little bit patchy because the glue is drying. But the good thing with Mod Podge is that it dries clear, so you won't notice it once it's dried. Now for the main event. Going to come in with our Mod Podge again and we can now start on the main bulk of the shoe. So I'm going to start at the back where the heel is, and I am going to do this in sections, because if you're painting the whole shoe with glue and then you're having to move the shoe around to get to the different angles to put your glitter on, you're going to get very messy and your glitters will start to sort of get a bit clagged up and mix with your colours, and you don't want that. So the best way I found to do this is to just do it section by section. Okay. So I know it's difficult to see because the Mod Podge is white, but I've just painted this side here. Okay, and going down to that heel. And then this is where having a really big box comes in handy, because you can just pop your shoe in and then throw your glitter on top. Well, maybe not throw, gently sprinkle, I should say. So here we go. It's like a glitter waterfall. Lovely. Okay. Okay, so let's just do our pat, 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 pat. Just to push it into the corners and to the edges. Make sure everything's been covered. And again, any patches that need looking at, I will just add more glitter and a bit more glue. And then we just give it a good tap, tap, tap off. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, so you'll see that obviously there are patches at the back where I haven't added the glue yet. So now is the time to fill any gaps and then move on to the next section. Okay, so again I've got a lot of excess glitter that's already been thrown into the box, so I'm just going to use that to add on here and fill in any gaps that I've missed. Okay, just tap, tap, tap again. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. There we go. So for the main part of the shoe, I did a 2-layer glitter. So what I did was, I obviously glued it, put my glitter on top, then I used my Mod Podge sealer to seal that layer, and then I put more glue on the top, and I did a second layer of glitter. So it really made it a nice solid glittery piece without having any gaps. Okay, let's just fill those in there. Okay, and some down the side here. Okay, just brush off the excess. Okay, so now I'm going to fill in the front section and finish off the side for this one. So this was them air drying out on my washing line because it was a nice sunny day, and look how sparkly they look already. Just fabulous, and they're not even finished yet. Okay, so I have done that's my first layer of glitter. So I did end up doing a second one a few days later, but it just gives you an idea of the shine on it. Okay, so that is all sealed in for the time being, and I've put my cupcake stickers on the side, and I also sealed them in with Mod Podge as well. So for the heels, I used a masking tape technique. So make sure that I press the masking tape down really firmly to get a good seal on it. Okay, and I wanted the rings to go like in a spiral sort of formation rather than straight. So I'm basically just lining up my stripes here, and obviously I want them to go opposite ways, so I'm just lining up my heels and repositioning and tightly wrapping my masking tape around. So this is the good thing about masking tape, is that because it only sticks very lightly, you can peel and re-stick it as much as you like, and it doesn't affect the surface that it's on. So I'm just pressing that into there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting my yellow stripes on, which is what I mentioned at the start. I wanted to do a yellow and blue mix. Okay. Here we go. So I have painted on my yellow, and now what I'm doing is adding my lemon glitter. So while these are touch dry, I'm just going to pop my Mod Podge on and do exactly the same as I've done on the rest of the glitter. So while my masking tape is still on and giving me those clean lines, I'm going to just pop my glitter on the top like that. So when I take the masking tape off, once it is dry, we'll have nice glittery lines. So I cannot stress this enough. If you're going to do this technique, make sure that 1, your masking tape is stuck down firmly, and 2, that you don't get too excited and pull your masking tape off before your paint and your glue is completely dry. Ideally you want to leave this overnight, because otherwise what can happen is if you don't wait and the mix is still tacky or wet, if you take your masking tape off too early, the paint will peel underneath and you'll get very messy lines, and your paint could possibly bleed into each other, which you do not want, because that will be an absolute mess then. Okay. So guys, this is the finished product. So I hope you can see here there's a little bit of excess that I need to brush off, but overall I am pretty happy with them. I also have a pair of yellow straps, which you'll see the strap holes at the top to match. So thank you everyone, and I'll see you soon.